I remember when we very first met, you were pretty heavily involved on the finance side of things.
Since starting with you all, we actually have someone that is going in and checking, giving us reports and updates on our financials so that we feel a lot more confident in where we are month to month.
Alrighty, I'm here with Deshka and Jill from Colvita Creative, longtime clients of ours. We've been working together well over a year now. Excited to do this with them. So guys, why don't you just introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about who you are and what you guys do at Colvita Creative.
Jill Coyle. I'm the owner of Colvita Creative, and we are a marketing and advertising firm. And we have offices in Boise, Idaho, and Colorado, and we have employees spread throughout the Mountain West.
I'm Deshka. I'm the COO for Colvita, and I help in the finances, HR, and payroll area for Colvita.
Way cool. So where were you guys at specifically in relation to the accounting and finances for Colvita Creative before we met and started working together?
When we first started with you guys, we had a CPA that was helping us with our taxes and filing, but it was more just end of the year, getting everything cleaned up all at once rather than a month-to-month look at what was going on with our finances. So since starting with you all, we actually have someone that is going in and checking and giving us reports and giving us updates on our financials so that we feel a lot more confident in where we are month to month rather than just doing a year and wrap up. We also, with that, we had a lot more with the bookkeeping side. It was really easy to get behind on that. It's nice to know that we have someone that's taking care of that side of the business and making sure that those tasks that are very important but sometimes get pushed to the side as client work comes in, that someone is taking and handling that for us.
Absolutely. Yeah, I remember when we very first met, you were saying that you were pretty heavily involved on the finance side of things and the day-to-day and that. As far as our work together, what has the time commitment been like on your end? Like how much time have you had to put into, see results working with us?
I would say for us, it started a little bit more heavily just working together to figure out with our business. It's very convoluted, a lot of different advertising expenses. So that can be a little bit confusing when bringing someone in for our books. But as soon as we started with that, it's been very easy. It's nice because it's really quick communication. And I would say since starting after getting past that first onboarding threshold, it's been about maybe an hour to 2 hours a week. And a lot of that includes actually going over the reports. So it's been very minimal. And with you all's team, it seems that everyone knows for the most part where everything goes. So it's not like you have to go through every single transaction. It's really nice to have that extra support there and take that time off of our hands.
Absolutely. Yeah. And one thing that was really big for you guys that we were able to help with was, when we first started working together, there wasn't a ton of clarity as far as kind of the margins and the profitability per client across the handful of clients you guys were working with. And one thing kind of we've been able to do is go in and break out the revenue and gross margin per client, and then also get payroll as a percentage of revenue, that KPI, so that you guys could track, when you need to hire and hiring at the right times. Just in your own words, how has some of that forward-looking reporting and the financial KPI tracking helped you guys be more profitable and hire more efficiently on your end?
It's constantly changing what our advertising and costs are. So it's been really nice to get that actual KPI, especially with the payroll, because once we get that down a little, we know that is probably because we're looking at hiring new. So just being able to, we're feeling that we need to hire, but then actually getting to see the numbers and seeing that we're getting closer on that KPI, like, okay, yeah, now it's actually showing in our numbers that we have the ability to, has been a nice and kind of just giving us that extra need and support for that.
Awesome. Yeah. And I know Chris has also been going through and, doing a cash flow forecast with you guys and updating it monthly as far as, new clients coming, old clients leaving and whatnot. How has having kind of a forecast every single month had a positive impact for you guys?
It's been really nice with having Chris go in and actually just build that out for us because he's going in and pulling those numbers. We had our own forecast set up, but it's been nice because we've been able to just reach out to him and say, hey, we're getting these 2 new clients and this is what their retainer is going to be, monthly retainer is going to be. And then he can go in and make those adjustments for us. So just first that step of like the ease of making changes for us has been really nice. But then the next step is forecasting. We've been talking about a lot of new changes and to either our systems, our commitment to like new, I guess, employees and then new clients, we know whether or not we'll be able to take them on because of this forecast. And that's been a huge help in just kind of Jill and I being able to sit down and talk about it and then go through the forecast and look at that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Love to hear that. If somebody was on the fence about working with us, what would you tell them?
I would say if you're struggling to keep up with those like day-to-day bookkeeping items, and then also wanting someone to actually like go in and give you advice and like help with either tax questions, or it could be like your financials, needing to get reports that you haven't been able to get as much clarity, I would say this is going to be an easy solution, much faster than any firm that we've ever worked with, which has been a really great advantage. Also very communicative, back and forth with you guys has been really easy. And that's been a huge bonus for you guys, because I feel like in the past, when we've reached out to people, it takes a long time for a response. And the fact that I can get a response same day has been a huge plus of working with you guys.
That,
awesome.
And also to add in there, in our past experiences, we have either kind of dealt with maybe like school mentality might not be the best way to like sum it up, but what I appreciate of what like working with you guys is everyone on your team has a hustle mentality, but also has like a very down to earth and real way of communicating in languages that we can understand. That because we are not, we have not in the accounting like world, and so when we ask questions, we get responses that like make sense to us and that we can actually apply. And so it feels like we have like a partnership and people and like a young and hungry like alliance, instead of having more of like that kind of like our parents like kind of telling us what to do with our money.
Sure.
It's like it's someone else who's like has the same mentality as us, as like a small business startup that's like in growth and wants to grow and is in it for the long haul.
Absolutely. Yeah, I really appreciate all of that from both of you guys. And it's definitely one of our core values. I mean, you guys have mentioned how we communicate. It's definitely a core value of ours. We want to be responding within 24 hours at all times. And then also, translating the numbers, like you said, into language that is actually actionable, that you guys, understand and can take that info to go make business decisions with it. I'm so glad to hear that that's been the experience. That's awesome. Yeah. And the one reason I think we're able to do that's different than other firms is the fact that we kind of work in Slack. And for you guys being a marketing agency, being kind of tech forward, for us to be able to kind of match that, I think has been great, because you guys are already working out of Slack anyway. So when an accounting question pops up, we're just kind of right there, for you guys to talk to.
Yeah, that's been huge. Like even this morning, I wanted to pull up like a previous forecast and to be able to just scroll through that channel. And then I also like seeing that I had missed some communication like between Deshka and someone from yesterday, and like seeing what had taken place like is awesome. So it's super cool that we have that there.
Totally. And then just in general, how have you guys liked the Fathom reports and the stuff in Fathom specifically? Because there's also a lot of firms that don't really use that. I would say those are kind of our two main differentiators, is the Slack and the Fathoms reports. So just any thoughts on the Fathom reports?
I think one of my favorite things about it, I think the Fathom report is great in having like the month to month, but one of my favorite things, especially with working with Chris on them, is that he really takes our feedback on every single time. So we make adjustments to match what our business needs and what's important to us. So the fact that it's fully customizable, and the fact that every time that we meet on this, we get more pieces of information that we find is important to us, that has been the best part about having that. It's not just going into QuickBooks and pulling a report that may not show all the pieces that you need. It's just like a full comprehensive report that is custom made and can be edited to what you need. Huge advantage of having that Fathom report is just like that full customization, and the fact that you guys continually tweak it for us and make adjustments has been a definite bonus for us.
Awesome. Yeah. No cookie cutter reports. Right. We want to heavily tailor it to you so you can have actionable insights. That's the whole goal with kind of our work together, is you guys get fast feedback loops in your financial performance. So, you know exactly when you need to hire, exactly if you need to adjust pricing, whatever it might be. So yeah, absolutely. We like to custom tailor it to where it's actually actionable for you. Last thing I want to touch on, just ROI in general. I think over the last year, you guys have definitely become more profitable having some of this data at your fingertips. Most people, they try to think of, a service like ours as purely a financial ROI, which there definitely is one. But a lot of times when I'm talking to clients, it's more so the stress reduction and the time recapture that is just as big of an ROI as the financial side. So do you have any thoughts there?
When we first came to you guys, we had talked about maybe bringing someone else on to help me with that. But then knowing that we may not have a full position to take that over, but also a need there, that has brought back so much time that I was wasting. Well, not wasting, but so much of my time was put towards just those bookkeeping and that extra hours, just keeping track of all the transactions that we have month over month. And so for us, that return on my time has been a huge return on our investment right there. But then also just looking at how much it costs to bring in another position, especially one to just like an accountant or something of that nature. So just knowing that you guys are handling that side of it, but it doesn't give us like a full new position that we have to like monitor, and you guys bring in a whole team. So outsourcing that has probably been the best thing for our team, because we get a full accounting team without the full accountant price and salary.
Absolutely.
So that return on that investment has been really beneficial for us.
Awesome. I'm super glad to hear all of that. Really appreciate you guys taking your time. Last thing I want to ask is there any final thoughts that you'd like to give someone considering working with us?
I think Jill basically covered it, but it's not that your typical accountant. It's someone that is going to be like fast paced like business is, and they want to keep up and help and come in and give you tips and pointers on how to maximize your profits. And it's been a really huge help for us, and we appreciate you guys.
Again, really appreciate you guys hopping on. Thanks so much, and have a wonderful day.
Cool. Thanks, Dylan.